Hello everyone and welcome to the first tutorial for the Nederlab onderzoeksportaal. For the first time we'll be checking out a very simple query meant to explore the basic search functions of Nederlab. Let's go to search in text, which will be the very first place you'll want to be when you're searching for something. Let's search for a single word, and if we tick this box, we're gonna search for all the different variants of the word that we entered here. Or words, we can enter more words and they will all feature in the results. So let's press search. Alright, what we see then is that we found hits spread out over more than 3 million documents. That is a lot. That is a lot indeed. And if we then look at the results, we cannot see them. We only see the documents. We have to log in to see the snippets. This is not for every collection, but some are, like in this case DBNL, and as you can see here, Sonar. So then, if that's the case, you should log in. You can log in through Clarin, through your university account, if you have one. So whether you're a student or an employee of a university, you can always log in then, and the page will be reloaded with the results visible. You can even load more snippets. Look at that. So now that we do this, we can see that in the very first sentence it's actually French, and the French word part does not mean part. So something has gone wrong here. Well, fear not, because this is fairly common when you look for word variants. If you scroll all the way down on the left, you'll get this box with all the variants incorporated in the search. As you will see, no matter what word you enter, there will be a couple of variants that have no business being in your result list. You can simply tick them off. You can simply go through the entire list and tick off all the variants that you think have nothing to do with what you are searching for. So go ahead and let's do that. Alright, once you've selected all the variants that you want to include, you can also have a look at different types of words, and since the word part is generally a noun, you can tick this box and filter out any additional results. Do note that not all of the collections included in Nederlab are specified according to types of words, so you won't be able to filter out all the non-nouns, but at least a few, and every few will count. Okay, so now we have just over 1 million documents left, which is definitely an improvement, but it still is a lot. If you one day start working with the more heavy assignments like groeperingen or collocaties, you should make sure that you do not have 1 million documents to search through, or those will definitely give you a timeout from the server. Now, we're not going there today, so today we're going to keep these million documents and see what we can do with this. So now we've selected all the different variants from the word horse that we think might be interesting to look at. Let's see this visual representation of our data. Alright, in this part of the website, you will see a couple of pie charts showing you information that might be hidden beneath this whiteness, but if you hover over them, they will appear. In cases like this one and this one, you can just deselect and select one of the collections included, and the pie chart will show. So in the first pie chart shows you the distribution of these documents, or hits if you select hits, over the different collections of Nederlab. As you can see, the majority of results is provided by the KB Kranten. If you are not interested in a KB Kranten, you can always deselect them from the pie chart, or just deselect them from the collection list on the left. And it will give you an interesting representation of of all these of the particle these collections play in the current results. So you can do the same for dates, for genres. Different genres definitely will feature depending on the word you choose. In the case of paard, it could be pretty much anything, since horses feature in both fiction and non-fiction, and in many other genres within them. So it could be interesting, but for the word paard, most likely not. And of course you can see in which languages these texts are featured. Now, we saw French earlier already. I mean, this corpus is meant for Dutch, but of course some other languages may appear in them. And finally, the last one, which is very important, is the presence of what I'd like to call enriched data, or in Dutch, verrijkingen. Well, the enriched data does not feature in every collection of Nederlab. Those that do, which is 44% of our current results, feature specification of part of speech data, lemma specification, and just allow for more thorough search. Those who have no enriched data can only be searched through simple by searching for words rather than lemma or part of speech. So everything can be searched through by words, and that's why a lot of the data we have now is spread out over so many collections. So let's have a little look at the timeline. Alright, now looking at the timeline, you can see a visual representation of the distribution of our documents over time. Of course, you can select hits or the relative amount of hits per the amount of words per document, which ultimately is more interesting. Once again, the KB kranten dominate the results in absolute statistics. So let's go to relative statistics. Alright, this looks much better already. As you can see now, KB kranten is still very prominent, but since it's a relative representation, it's a better representation of how often variants that we've selected are used. Of course, depending on what you are looking for, some of these might be more interesting than others, and you can also use the timeline as a good way to see which period would give you more interesting data, which potentially could give you more interesting data than others. Of course, in the normal page there is also statistics, which is always an interesting thing to look at, and we can show them. Statistics is a very basic overview of the amount of words in documents, the amount of hits per document, and the amount of documents themselves. And that's basically it. Now let's go to frequency lists, but in order to do that, we'd be wise to try to get this amount of documents a bit lower than this. So let's select a single collection. Hopefully that will do the trick. Not the KB kranten, because they comprise of more than 90% of the results. So we won't lose many documents by selecting them. So let's select DBNL. And they give us a little over 5.7 thousand documents, which is still a lot, but it's significantly less. So let's go to frequency lists now. Well, frequency lists they show you the frequency of a certain something within the selected pool of documents. So let's, since we're looking at words, let's not go to lemma or anything else. Let's stick to words. Let's find all words that have at least let's say 6 letters, and that begin with, that begin with paard. So now we're looking for everything that has this exact spelling of the word paard, but have something behind it. And show. Of course, if you want, and if you know your regular expressions, you can type a regular expression and and find something more. So this was really quickly. What we found is that the most common word in here is pardon, features in these many documents, has an average of 2 per document, and occurs 36 times to be precise. So this gives you a little overview of what you can do with simple search. You can also use groeperingen, but we'll demonstrate that in another tutorial. I hope this was an interesting watch for you. Good luck on your research with Nederlab. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time.